Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check.
Mic.
One mic. Alright. Here's the story.
Do you know why I pulled you over? You're fucking ridiculous. Yeah, what do you hear?
The other way was his story. He wrote ASHWA in the car.
Goes too far. He goes too far.
So what the fuck are we gonna do about our 20-minute sizzle reel?
Who uses the term sizzle?
Sizzling hot!
I don't want to record people on Zoom screens. I'm fucking done with Zoom.
I'm a zombie.
What if we make like a 20-minute documentary of our time in California?
Okay.
And the main focus will be the making of Eternal Recurrence because we have all that rough footage of making it.
But as we go through the making of it, we talk about what ASHWA is.
Which will give the song context.
And also explain what ASHWA is.
The only thing, there are so many moments that we didn't catch on camera.
Well, we're doing a documentary, right?
Right?
And what is ASHWA across the street from?
Railroad tracks?
On the other side of the tracks?
A Civil War reenactment site.
And what do we call ASHWA's Greek chorus that plays like 30 characters?
The reenactors!
So, we'll be using the form of the documentary.
But it also speaks to the use of reenactment in our piece. Donna and Randall are gonna love this shit.
So basically, we can reenact ourselves having a conversation about using reenactments in our documentary. It's like a play within a play within a play.
Whoa, what a mindfuck.
Which is also ASHWA.
It's the central question we're asking. When will the past stop catching up? When will our past ever end? When we stop making future plans to reenact a certain past.
Like what we're doing right now.
Which becomes the present.
It used to be the future.
We made the future happen.
And that's how time travel works, man.
Okay. We're getting ahead of ourselves, man. Why don't we time travel to the past and start at the beginning?
Right.
A white, empty stage. A transparent wall separates the stage from the audience. A reenactor, young, black, walks in from the audience and drags a costume rack on the stage, and then drags another rack onto the opposite side. He's whistling. He grabs a Stanford hoodie from the rack, puts it on, and becomes Thelonious Wright. 19, curious, frustrated, distracted. He pulls out an ordering pad and pencil and begins to draw the audience from behind the transparent wall. As he draws, comic book images begin to splash on the white walls like panels. A large ASHWA tree, neon sign reading ASHWA, a map of North America, a map of Africa, the Mason-Dixon line, the North Atlantic slave trade route, the Lincoln Monument, Stanford University, a line of cops in riot gear, a palette of colors mixing, a mass protester with sign reading Black History Matters and say their names, a black mother and father eating waffles with their son, a waffle with imprint ASHWA. Thelonious draws a face of a woman. Her name is Sid. Then a woman walks on stage. It's Sid. She makes a sound. Thelonious draws a face of a man. His name is Joel. Then a man walks on stage. It's Joel. He makes a sound. The same process occurs for the other characters, PD, Brianna, Kiruka, and Freddie. These 6 characters will henceforth be known as the Wren, short for reenactors. Note, for the duration of the piece, the Wren will transition, sometimes quickly from costume piece to costume, becoming various characters throughout. As the characters walk on stage, Thelonious drops his pencil and pad, begins to take in the swelling of the music. He realized that a gesture is enough to splash the white walls with projected images, so he dances to the music, and the images appear, and then the fog machine blows. The Wren, known as Kiruka, begins clapping and singing.
There's only one right way to make a waffle.
Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir.
There's only one right way to tear it down. There's only one.
You see,
There's only one
when the Israelites when it gets to Canada night. They marched around the wall of Jericho for 7 days, and with 7 priests and 7 ram horns, the wall fell. Now, you might not have no physical walls in your life, but there's a lot of mental walls, spiritual walls, walls of fog that keeping you from what you need to do. And there's only one right way for the wall to fall. This is the house of wall fall right.
There's only one right way.
There's only one right way. There's only one. Yeah, that's the joint.
That's a good song.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Dahlak Brathwaite,
And I'm Mikey Rosenbaum.
And together we are writing ASHWA. Should I give them the summary?
Yeah.
Let me try it.
Yeah.
A superhero origin story inside of a legend, inside of a legend, inside the history of race in America, inside a Waffle House. For Thelonious Wright, a young black graphic novelist, all signs are pointing back to ASHWA. I'm never going back to ASHWA. I'm never going back to
Which
that.
stands for
The American Southern House of Waffles and Apple Pies. Not much has changed in the ASHWA of his youth upon his return until a mysterious stranger walks in, interrupts the continuum, and sends Thelonious on a journey through the evolution of Black American music and time in general.
That's a whole musical?
That's a whole musical. That's a whole musical. ASHWA.
You know, I think why I wanted to come out here to reconnect with you. We've been making art in a pandemic virtually for all of our collaborative process, and now we're getting to recreate, reconnect, review American history through the lens of a renewal, of a revival, and we're trying to mirror that through our art, through our lives, so we can talk about it through our art.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's a beautiful thing to recreate, to recreate in person.
For the doc, don't act weird. Here we go.
All right, we're waves in the Pacific Ocean.
Let's go.
Yes.
ASHWA is coming from the Black experience.
Right.
It's 6 Black actors and Joe.
He's technically 1/8 black.
But we got all this archival footage of non-Black people singing the songs.
Yeah. Dahlak. Why are you surrounded by so many white people? You got a problem with black people?
Well, that's what Thelonious is going through. Thelonious was adopted by white parents.
Right.
He goes to Stanford and he's underrepresented.
Black man in a white room, afraid, confused, no clue of when did he project himself to? It was further than the future.
That's been my story in a lot of ways. Trying to better my life and seek out curiosities. And the further I go, the less people I find in higher education and theater. And it's caused by the same reason we felt called to write this piece.
Frustration.
With white supremacy.
It was further than the future. It was further than the future.
It's so total that it could express itself even in the most innocuous of places, like the graduate musical theater writing program, where in the first year, I'm the only Black male out of 60. Thank God you knew the background vocals for Temptations' Get Ready when I sang it on karaoke night. I would have really felt alone then.
Never had to make me feel the way that you do. You're alright. So why the fuck are you writing this piece?
I guess the same reason I sang backup with you singing The Temptations. This was my music too. I grew up with Motown. Yeah, it's black music and black history, and the music is connected to the history, but it's not just black music and not just black history. It's American music. It's American history, and I'm American. And I've got to reckon with my roots too. And I think the best way to do that is through music.
You know when you think of something and then everything becomes that thought?
Like waffles?
Not exactly, but sure.
Yeah, I think about waffles even when I'm not here. I had a dream about bathing in syrup just the other day. Waffles saved me. And waffles sustained me. And waffles...
I just
draw it out.
What?
Ain't that what you used to do when you couldn't wrap your head around something? Crushes, bullies, draw it out. It always seemed to help, so what's keeping you? Ain't I pretty enough? Just don't be writing no graphic of me getting fucked up now. Why don't you draw me as your super sidekick helping you solve your shitty ass mysteries? Maybe you could, sort things out if you share it with someone else. But make me smarter and stronger. Like half Sherlock Holmes, half Wakanda. Oh, and half Shaft.
Wait, that's too many halves.
But James Brown vibes on the uniform, Fancy. Come on, I'm right here. Make a hero out of me like you used to.
How do I draw you? How do I draw you as a hero that looks like me? All of our heroes been charged up and beat down, subject to battery. How do I draw you as a hero that can set us free? All of my heroes know victory, just history, subject to powers that be.
He's so hung up on this tree that he found. If he draws outside the box that always framed him, what dangers await him? Will he get lost crossing the line? Black folks got a waffle, gotta conduct ourselves right. With all of the negatives charging us, we gotta find the power to make it light. If I can keep him drawing, I know he can make it right.
All we're doing is moving through time.
Okay, what are we setting up?
When Thelonious has a vision, he experiences the past through the eyes of Bonaparte.
The founder of ASHWA.
But he's not just the founder of ASHWA, right? He's like this time-traveling scientist. And finally, he breaks past the final wall of the future.
Where he meets the League of Black Time Travelers.
Exactly. And they send him back in the past because they say...
He's not ready.
Yeah, you got to go back to go on.
Got to go back to go on. Got to go back. All right.
A flash of lightning. We are now in the pages of a comic book. The League of Black Time Travelers surround Bonaparte, tying him up on the railroad tracks.
Bonaparte, though you have great vision, you are not ready for the future.
I was born in a place, to a country and a race, where we look to the future, cause history has been erased. Had a vision for the future, next thing we know, we was there. Where does a Negro with the time machine go? Ha ha, I tricked you, the question ain't where. The future is written by those who've been there, through invention of self-projection. The future is written to a certain extent, but we black and we lay, so we pass the extension.
What you call a Negro with a time machine? Gone.
And so the way that they send him back into the past is on a train called
Eternal Recurrence,
Exactly.
which is the name of the song. That's clever.
Yeah. And so as he's on this train and they're singing to him, they're showing his whole life. Bonaparte Wright's whole life is flashing by him through the windows of eternal recurrence, because this is the train that loops around the cosmos.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's gonna be pretty hard to pull off with actors over Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. Yo, what if we had Kat illustrated though?
Oh, you think she would?
Kat's amazing.
She is amazing. Does she sleep?
I don't think so. They begin lulling Thelonious Wright out of his slumber, sleepwalking into the costume that transforms him into Bonaparte Wright. They all transition into the white canvas space area, projections casted into a train car named Eternal Recurrence.
There's been a disturbance in the force. In the force, y'all. We felt a strong current moving on without a source. Without a source, y'all. Eternal recurrence, we go circles, circles, roots of a train. We're rooting for you to redirect your roots. Root, root, root. Do you know how long your trauma has time traveled up till now? Universes birthed and burning out, rooted back and rooted out, went too far then back around. But on this train, till your baggage is claimed, you'll stay down. Cause your memories are fickle trickster that would deny the proof of picture just to maintain your fragile frame. Well, I am Sid the fickle trickster, to once again project a picture, expecting that you'll just react the same. Cause I still remember that cold morning in December 1944. You were so scared. That's when I was tasked to take charge of this past, and I promised the league I'd always be there to help you get it right this time. I hope you get the right route. Route, route, route.
Never going back to war, never going back to love, never going back to roots, never going back to ASHWA, to that church, to that source, to that shop, to that power, 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 power.
But your memory's a fickle trickster, so don't deny the proof of picture, just to maintain your fragile frame. Cause I am Sid the fickle trickster, to track you back into a picture, hoping that you won't react the same.
I don't know. Something's missing.
Yeah.
You know what we could do if we have time?